Good morning, everyone. Happy Saturday. The crew is all here. I'm so glad to have you here with us. Good morning, Catherine. Good morning, Debbie. So glad you're here. um, I'm Mikki. If you've not practiced with me before, the huge cat is Musketeer. This is Shanti. And we're just honored to spend part of the Saturday morning with you as a community of yogis, practicing together, moving together, and in the words of Sue, finding some peace this morning as well. We're going to get started in a comfortable seat. That's Shanti's cue to exit. She knows it's not about her. We're going to get started in a comfortable seat. And every part of this practice this morning, I want you just to invite yourself without any guilt, any pressure to do what feels good. And so that starts here in this seat. It starts maybe as cross-legged. It maybe starts sitting on the heels. And if you just feel like you need to start laying down, then you pretend like I didn't say take a comfortable seat and you just start laying down. And then once you find your position, let's bring your hands to your lap, or maybe if you're laying down, your belly. And let's go palms face down on the body today. So there's a sense of connection and grounding into yourself. And then if you're comfortable today, let the eyes close. And let's take a moment here to settle into this space and this shape, and to make sure that the way you are touching the ground allows you to feel supported. The way that you're positioned in space allows you to feel tall and upright and open for breath. And if you are seated this morning, let's take the back of the neck and just try to lengthen it a little bit, almost like your jaw is smiling. And let's all collectively take a very full breath in. Maybe you open the mouth and sigh your air out as you release. Let's do that one more time. Full inhale, breathe in. And through the mouth or through the nose, feel the fullness and the release of your exhale. And then from there, do that as many times as you need to this morning to feel sort of like you've caught up with the breath. And then when you're ready to let that breath settle into a really steady rhythm, let that rhythm begin to form. And as you settle here into this breath this morning, I invite you to start to take your focus and sort of zoom out, if you will. So instead of having one very specific point of focus, like you've zoomed into an image or a document, instead of having the mind really concentrated somewhere, can you zoom out and really take it all in? To feel the fullness and the full experience of your body and your shape and yourself. To feel the fullness and the details of the space around you. Almost like you are blending into the space, losing your form and your shape a little bit, and just feeling really connected to the air around you, the ground around you, the energy around you. And then maybe even take that a little further and just feel your existence in the larger space outside of even the walls that you're in. If it's hard to feel this or find this, sometimes it helps for me to take myself mentally to a place like you're sitting on a beach, or you're in the middle of the forest, or one of those places where you feel your kind of smallness in the grandiose nature of our universe. And without needing to analyze anything, judge anything, name anything, without letting your mind kind of focus on any specific thing, just feeling the fullness, the grandness, feeling your space. And let's keep this steadiness to the breath. Keep this sort of zooming out quality this morning. Just trying not to let the focus get into any one particular part of your body as you start to move, but really feeling the fullness of yourself. Let's start to tip forward. Let the hands come to the ground in front of you. And once you've found that tip forward, we're going to take your hands over toward the right on the diagonal and just let that left hip continue to really ground. And again, if you find yourself focused on maybe one sensation or one part of the body, allow yourself to zoom out. Feel the fullness of your breath in, the fullness of your breath out. Another way to think of this is really doing the work of listening as opposed to letting the mind kind of talk and direct the conversation. Just feeling the fullness of yourself and listening to all that's present there. One more full inhale here. And one more full exhale. We'll walk your hands back to center and in towards your legs. And let's move those hands back behind you just an inch or two. And we're going to lean back and recross your legs. Just wanted to make sure there was nothing wrong. Hi, Karen. Hi, Sarah. Hi, Mom. Good to have you guys. So other leg in front as you cross. If you were already in a symmetrical seat, you're good. And then let's take that fold forward once again. Hands walk forward and over to the left this time. Breathing fully into the shape and into the space. Noticing over and over again where your mind goes. Because where it goes in our practice, what it tends to fixate on in our practice when we're paying attention is probably also where it fixates on when we're not paying attention throughout the day. Looking at the patterns of your thoughts in your mind. And then let's bring those hands back to center. Walk the hands in. And bring ourselves back up nice and tall. And as you get up nice and tall there, let's take the hands out to the side, up to the sky. Let the palms join together overhead. Go ahead and turn your eyes up toward your fingers if that feels okay. And then exhale, hands down into your heart. How about we do that 2 more times? As you inhale, we'll take the arms wide and up. Let your gaze follow. Let the front of the throat lengthen. And exhale, hands come down into your chest. Let's do that one more time without any rush, any need to get to your destination sooner. Inhaling, hands up. And hands to heart. And let's pause there for just a couple more breaths with the hands right in front of your heart. And if something I've said this morning resonates as an intention for your practice, then really let that settle and solidify as your intention. If there's something else that you need this morning, take these last couple breaths here to set that for yourself. And then let's go ahead and come on over into hands and knees coming into your tabletop shape. And as you find that table shape this morning, let's go ahead and tuck the toes under if that feels okay. And try to make sure that all 10 toes are actually tucked under. You might want to reach back and help that little baby toe. And we'll take cat-cow here this morning with those toes tucked under to wake up the feet and release the feet a little bit from whatever you've put them through this week. So exhale, round your spine, let the head fall forward for cat. And then inhale, drop the belly, let the heart and the head move and lift forward. 2 more times, rounding into cat. lengthening into cow, or moving into cow. There's your Saturday morning dad humor. One more time, rounding cat, lengthening cow. And then let's come into that cat shape one more time. We're going to linger there for a couple breaths. You can stay with the shoulders over the wrists, or you can press your hips back any amount toward your heels and just feel a little bit of a lengthening for the arches of the feet. It might be slightly unpleasant, but it shouldn't necessarily hurt. And then come on up back into your table. Let's untuck those toes, maybe tap the tops of the feet into the ground. And then we're going to take your right leg, stretch it back with the toes on the ground again. Press back through that right heel. Feel a lengthening through the right calf. And then let's keep pressing back through your right heel, but put a tiny little bend into your right knee. So we'll kind of get into the calf on a deeper level there. So you're still pressing back through the heel, but there's a slight bend to the knee. And then re-straighten that leg, and let's lift the foot off the ground. And as you do that, let's bend your right knee, bring it in toward the chest, and then we're going to point your knee toward the right, keep the knee bent, and then point it back behind you, and we'll start again. So just big circles with that hip, in, out, and back. One more time, in, out, and back. And then as that leg goes back, go ahead and let it straighten and let the shin come on down to the ground. And then we'll do that second side. So left leg stretches back, toes on the floor. Make sure that you're slightly buoyant and elevated between the shoulder blades, so you're not just sitting heavily in your wrists and your shoulders. And we'll start in that left calf. Press back through the heel until you feel that lengthening in the left calf. And then keep the heel pressing back, but put a little bend in that knee. So moving from the more superficial, larger calf muscle into the deeper, smaller calf muscle. For those of you walking and maybe protesting today, just giving those legs some love. And then we'll re-straighten that left leg. Lift the foot off the ground, bend the knee. We'll bring it forward, out, and back. Now moving up into the hip, and we'll do that 2 more times. Forward, out, and back. And last one, forward, out, and back. And then let that shin come on down to the ground into your table. And let's set up for downward facing dog. So we'll ground all of the knuckles. Press, so line up the index fingers parallel like railroad tracks. And then tuck your toes under, hips up and back, downward facing dog. Couple breaths there as you settle in. Wagging your tail, pedaling your feet. Anytime we're in down dog this morning, it's just not feeling like a good place for you to be today, for whatever reason, you have table as an option and you have child's pose as an option. So table, we've been to child's pose with heels pressing or hips pressing toward heels. One more breath in your down dog here. And then let's inhale, rise up high onto your tippy toes, let the heels lift. Exhale, let those heels drop down toward the ground. Let's do that 2 more times. Inhale, rise up. Exhale, release. One more time, rise up. And heels drop. And then from here, let's walk yourself forward to the front of your mat. As many steps as it takes. Let the knees bend if they need to bend. And let's give ourselves a generous fold here. So feet wide, knees bent. Let the spine drape, let the head drape. Just feel all of the strain, the tension, the stress of your week cascading off your shoulders and your head and your spine. And then let's bend your knees generously and roll up inch by inch by inch. All the way to standing. As you come upright, let's take your hands to the sky. Again, let's look up toward your fingertips if that's okay. And the trick here is to not just drop your head back, to keep the back of the neck long as you turn your gaze upward. Let there be a sense of openness and length in the front of the throat. Our energetic center from the yoga perspective of communication, our ability to both speak and listen. And then let's bring the palms together overhead and exhale, hands down into the heart. Big full inhale here. Full complete exhale. And then let's start to move a little bit more. Inhale, hands go skyward. Again, maybe the eyes follow the fingertips, and exhale, fold. Fingers find your shins. Inhale, slide those fingers halfway up, halfway lift. And then exhale, fold, let the head release. Your right foot will stay, left leg is stepping back. Let's bring your back knee down to the ground and come on up into your low lunge. We're going to come on up and settle for a few breaths. Allow yourself to linger, to be here, to watch that desire and need to just keep moving forward, keep moving on, and just be here with this breath in the moment. Maybe you look up, keep that length in the back of the neck. Maybe the hands stay shoulder width. Maybe you open them super wide into a V. Feel the lift of the heart, the confidence and the power this gives. And then bring the hands back together overhead. We'll let the hands come down around your front foot. Tuck those back toes under if they're not already. Lift the knee. And any way that works for you, it doesn't need to be graceful. Let's step it back into downward facing dog. Now you are more than invited to stay here and be still. Remember that table, cat, cow, child's pose are all options. If you want to keep moving, let's inhale, plank. Knees up or down. Elbows point straight back as you lower toward the belly, chaturanga. On the ground there, go ahead and untuck your toes. Inhale, baby cobra. Try to minimize the weight in your hands. And then exhale, forehead toward the floor. Let's press up, table or plank. Inhale. And downward facing dog. When you're ready, left leg lifts if that makes sense in your body today. And then however it works for you, exhale, left foot forward between your hands. Remember, it does not need to be graceful. Back knee comes down. Come on up into your low lunge. And settle. Notice what the mind is really focusing on here. Can you allow that experience of zooming out? Of being just as aware of what's happening inside as around you. Maybe you let the gaze turn upward. Maybe you take those arms wide. And then eyes forward, arms shoulder width, and hands down around your front foot. Tuck those back toes, lift the back knee, look forward, and let's step your right foot next to the left. Inhale, halfway lift. And exhale, fold. Rise up, reach up, inhale. And exhale, hands to heart. Full breath in here. And full breath out. Hands to the sky, inhale. Exhale, fold. Halfway lift, inhale. Long spine all the way through the back of the neck. And then exhale, let's fold. Let's keep left foot where it's at, right leg steps back. You can drop the knee again if you'd like, or keep it lifted. Let's come on up, crescent lunge. Again, we're going to settle for a couple breaths. Find your shape here, find your breath. And then let your focus zoom out. Maybe turn the gaze upwards. Maybe widen those hands. And then exhale, hands down around your front foot. Back we go. Downward facing dog. Invitation to stay or inhale, plank. Knees up or down, chaturanga. Inhale, cobra. Maybe you keep it low. Maybe you start to put some weight in the hands. Back to the belly. Exhale. Inhale, table or plank. And downward facing dog. No rush whatsoever. When you're ready, right leg lifts. And foot between your hands. Let's come on up. Crescent lunge. Settling in here. Notice the distractions that pop up, the fidgets, the concerns, the judgments, the worries. Is my shirt comfortable? Are my pants in the right place? And just try to zoom out, to feel the way that the air is feeling on your skin. To notice the sounds and the silence around you. Maybe look up. And then hands down around your front foot. And we'll step forward, feet together. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. And inhale, rise up, reach up. At the top there, let's take the eyes forward. Keep the hands lifted. And very slowly as you inhale, let's roll up onto the balls of the feet, let the heels lift. And then exhale, we're going to slowly with control lower those heels back down just to hover off the ground. Inhale, lift. Exhale, lower to hover. One more time, lift. And lower. And let those heels come all the way down. Let's shift your weight into your right foot. Bring your left knee up to your chest. Let's reach down and grab onto that shin or thigh. Give the leg a firm squeeze in. And then let's take your right hand, just place it on your right hip. With your left hand, let's draw some big circles with this left leg. It might throw off your balance, so that's okay. Just allow yourself to get into that left hip. Balance and not falling over is secondary here. And then reverse the direction of that circle. So if you've been going clockwise with the left knee and hip, go counterclockwise, vice versa. And then bring the knee in. Let's give it a hug one more time. And you're going to step that left leg all the way back into your crescent lunge. Hands to the sky. Once you've landed, let's press into that right big toe, straighten the right leg. And exhale, bend the right knee. 2 more times there. Straighten. Feel that energetic power and aliveness. Vitality. Exhale, bend. One more time, straighten. And bend. As you bend here, let's bring the hands down around your front foot. Root into that left hand, right hand to the sky. If your neck is okay with it, let's turn the gaze sideways and up toward that right hand. So you're looking toward the ceiling. And then let your right hand come down inside your right foot. Wiggle your right foot out a couple inches. So option 1 is going to be here. This is lizard pose. Option 2, we're going to step that back foot in a little bit, put the heel on the ground, let the toes angle out. So you start to get into the length of that back leg a little bit more. Option 3, if you have the space and it feels nice, take your hands forward any amount and let your head fall between your arms. Really allow weight to press back toward that left foot. One more breath here. And then we'll walk your hands back in underneath the shoulders if they're forward. Come onto the ball of the back foot. And let's step back into plank. Now you have the option to head to down dog, or if you want the vinyasa, let's come down, chaturanga. Inhale, cobra, any height. Exhale to the belly. Inhale, table or plank. And downward facing dog. Right leg to the sky. And right foot outside your right hand. Toes slightly angled out, and then one step or a bunch of little steps. Left foot outside your left hand. Toes angle out. And then let's start to bend your knees. Option 1, elbows on thighs, football coach. Option 2, hips drop lower for malasana squat. Hands can be on floor or at heart. And the heels might not be down. They might be slightly elevated, that's okay. But if they can come to the ground, let them come down. A couple breaths here. Just feel the movement of air in and out. That zooming out of observation, of taking it all in. And then rooting down into your feet, let's start to rise up. Hands to the sky, get tall, maybe look up. And then let the hands come together and down into your heart. And we're going to wiggle your feet back to parallel. Let's start to roll up onto the balls of the feet again. Heels lift. Exhale, heels lower, just to hover. Let's do that one more time. Heels lift. Option to stay here. Option to start to bend the knees. As if chair pose couldn't be any better. Chair pose without the heels down. And then let those heels ground. Come on up to standing. Weight into that left foot. Let's bring your right knee into your chest. Reach down, grab onto that shin or thigh, give the leg a hug in. And then when it feels right and ready, let your cat out of his closet and start to move your leg around into those circles. Left hand comes to your left hip. Right hand helps to direct that right knee around, feeling that range of motion, that rotation in the hip. And then let's reverse the direction of your circle, going counterclockwise if you've been going clockwise, vice versa. And then give that leg a firm hug in again, stand tall. And let's take that right leg all the way back into your lunge. As you land there, let's straighten the front leg, press into that left big toe. Exhale, bend the knee. Inhale, straighten. Exhale, bend. One more time. Inhale, straighten. Feel as tall and long as you can. Maybe look up. And then exhale, bend the front knee. Let your hands come down around your front foot. Right hand stays down, left hand to the sky. And again, maybe the gaze follows that left hand out to the side or up to the sky. Get broad across your wingspan, across your arm. And then left hand comes down inside that left foot. Let your left foot wiggle out to the edge of the mat. Option 1, stay here. Option 2, step that back foot in a bit. Let the heel come down, let the toes angle out. And then option 3, hands walk forward. I feel like a little gecko here. And let your head fall forward. So while the hands are walking forward in that final option, the weight is still pulling back in any of those 3 options toward your back foot. Final breath here. And then we'll bring your hands back under your shoulders and step back into plank. Option to head to down dog from here. Option to lower, chaturanga. Inhale into the cobra that feels really good for your heart, for your upper back. Back to the belly, exhale. Inhale, table or plank. And downward facing dog. From that down dog, let's take left foot to the sky. Left foot steps outside the left hand. Right foot steps outside the right hand. Toes are angled out, heels are angled in. Football coach or squat, your choice. Two full breaths here. Taking it all in. And then slowly press into your feet. Rise up, reach up. Hands to hearts. Bring your feet to parallel. Inhale, hands to the sky. And exhale, sit back, regular old boring chair pose. In honor of Jerry, our flamingo spirit animal friend. Let's shift into your right foot and start to pull that left foot up towards your bottom. Steady, steady. Even when the body feels unsteady, keep the breath steady and try to keep that expansive awareness as opposed to just zooming into this attempt to not fall over. And then let's straighten that right leg, bring your left knee up into the chest. Turn the left knee out to the side. Let's place that left foot for tree pose. Foot on thigh, calf, or ankle, up to you. But feel the two legs coming together. So wherever you put that left foot, feel it push into the right leg, and the right leg resists back into the left foot. One more full inhale here. One more full exhale. And then let's turn that left knee forward, bring it back up close to the heart, and let's step your left foot all the way back into your lunge. Find your feet here in crescent, and let's ground that back heel. Open the shoulders toward the long edge of the mat, warrior two. Inhale, straighten the front leg. Reach your hands up. Exhale, bend the front knee, lower the arms. One more time there. Straighten, reach, bend, and lower. And then let's bring your right hand, or right elbow, onto your right thigh. Left hand to the sky. Let's, from the deep in the left shoulder, turn that left palm to face forward and bring that left arm alongside the left ear. If it feels okay in your neck, let's turn the gaze up toward that left hand. Lengthening through the back of the neck, smiling at the jawline. One more breath here. Can you put a little less weight into that right elbow? Some of you, maybe that right hand comes toward the ground for a breath. And then let's take that left hand down the back leg. Right hand reaches up and back. And maybe now you look up toward that right hand. With your next exhale, hands come down around your front foot. And let's step to plank. Now you have the option to head to down dog or child's pose. If you're game to stay in plank, hands or forearms will do. Let's bend your right knee down to the ground. Keep that left leg really straight and strong. And then slowly switch. Left knee bends, right leg straightens. We're just going to slowly alternate there with the breath. Try to hold your core and your spine really steady. So it could get kind of sassy, but that's not the point. Two more breaths here. And then if you want the vinyasa, take the vinyasa, chaturanga, cobra, you know the drill, or head back to down dog. We will all meet up in downward facing dog in our own time. From your down dog, let's bend the knees, lift the heels, look forward. And then as you exhale, walk, step, or hop, top of the mat. Inhale, halfway lift. And exhale, fold. Let's wiggle your feet as wide as the yoga mat. Bend your knees, come up to just a soft chair. Let's pull your hands back behind you, clasping thumbs or all of the fingers. And then let's fold forward over your legs and let those hands fall any amount away from your low back. Let the head release. And if this is not comfortable for you, I encourage you when you do this shape to find a towel or a shirt or a strap that you could put between your hands that gives them more space to create more space for the shoulders. One more breath here. And then let's bend the knees, release the hands, come all the way up to standing. Keep the feet wide. Maybe look up toward the fingertips and hands to heart. Let the feet wiggle back to your hip width, and let's sit down into chair. Weight into your left foot, right foot flamingos. With your next inhale, let that left leg straight and bring your right knee up to the chest. Open the knee toward the side. Let's place that foot on thigh, calf, or ankle for your tree pose. Maybe you grow some branches. Maybe you keep your hands at heart, but feel those two legs joining together to create a solid base, a solid foundation. And then we'll turn that right knee forward, step that right leg all the way back, finding your crescent lunge. And then once you've landed, heel down, let's open up, warrior two. Inhale, straighten the front leg, reach your hands up. Exhale, bend the front knee, lower the arms. One more time, straighten, reach, bend, and lower. And we'll bring that left elbow to the left thigh, right hand up to the sky. We'll turn the right palm forward. So feel that rotation deeply in the shoulder, and then move your right arm alongside the right ear. If it feels okay in your neck today, let's turn your gaze sideways or up underneath the arm. Keep the back of the neck feeling long, that sense of smiling at the jawline. And then minimize the weight that's in that left elbow. Stay here if this is plenty. Pet your cat if he just inserted himself into the situation. And then maybe some of you, left hand to the ground. With your next inhale, let's rise up into that reverse warrior. Right hand down the back leg, left hand reaches up. Again, maybe the gaze goes up toward that left hand. And then exhale, hands down around your front foot. We step back into plank. So make it work for you. We're going to be in plank here again for a few, maybe several breaths. So if you need to skip, head to child's pose or down dog. If you need to come down onto forearms, come down onto forearms. And we're going to do that same if your cat allows you to. One knee down, one leg straight. And then switch. Now, some of you are going to stay with that. Some of you are going to switch to bending both knees and then straightening both legs. Bend and straighten. How about 2 more breaths wherever you're at? And then take the vinyasa if you'd like. Chaturanga back bend, and we'll all meet up in down dog when you're ready. With your next inhale, let's take your right leg to the sky. Exhale, step your right foot forward between your hands. Come on up into your crescent lunge. Look forward, settle the eyes, and let's come up onto that right foot, left knee into your chest. As you get settled there, left hand to left hip, right hand outside the left knee. Start to rotate toward that left thigh. Option 1, stay here. Option 2, reach back through your left hand. Those of you that want more, option 3, reach down, grab onto the pinky edge of the left foot, and play with the idea of straightening that leg. Just because you head that direction doesn't mean it has to get all the way straight. Wherever you're at, final 2 breaths, maybe play with turning your gaze toward your back shoulder. Yeah. And then let's turn the gaze back forward. Bring those hands around your left shin or thigh, give it a hug. And then left leg is stepping all the way back behind you into your lunge. As you find your lunge, hands to the sky. Feel that length up both sides of your waist. And then we're going to start to tip forward, bring your hands to your heart. Feel the line of your spine. You can stay here if you'd like, or left elbow down, right elbow up. Maybe you latch the elbow outside the thigh. And again, in this kind of playing with our gaze and the rotation of our head and neck today, can you maybe look up over that right shoulder toward the sky? Get super long from the back heel through the crown of your head. And then exhale, hands come down around your front foot. And let's straighten your back leg any amount. Those of you that want to come up to standing splits, you can take your weight into that right foot and let your left foot go to the sky. And let's be honest, standing leg lift. So either 2 feet on the ground, 2 legs straight, or 1 foot on the ground, but still 2 legs straight. If you came up into standing leg lift, come back down into 2 feet on the ground. And let's all bend your front knee and then your back leg. Let that back knee come all the way down to the ground. Pause here for a moment. Option to stay. Option to bring your right hand onto your right thigh. Feel the rotation toward that front leg. Final option to pull that left foot in toward the backside, to reach back with your right hand and see if the hand and the foot want to be friends today. If they don't, give them their space. If they do connect, push that foot gently into the hand. Roll the right shoulder open. Maybe look over the shoulder. And then slowly release. Let's take it back into your plank vinyasa if you'd like. Down dog or child's pose if you would prefer. Wherever you're at, stay with your breath. Continually trying to zoom out and observe, listen, take it all in. When you're ready, if it makes sense, left foot to the sky. And left foot between your hands. Come up into your crescent lunge. Stepping into that left foot, bring your right knee up to the heart. As many steps as you need to make that transition. And then let's reach down and hug onto that right shin or thigh for a moment. When you're ready, right hand to right hip, left hand outside your right knee. Start to feel that rotation toward your lifted thigh. This is a great place to stay. Or take that right hand, reach it back. This is a great place to stay, or left hand to the pinky edge of the right foot. And maybe begin to straighten that leg. Wherever you're at, any of those options, you can play with the gaze and the rotation of your head toward that backhand. Any amount. And then slowly turn the gaze and the body forward, rehug that knee into the heart. Right foot all the way back into your lunge. Finding your length up both sides of your waist. And then let's tip forward, hands to heart. Stay here on this line, or right elbow down, left elbow up. Stay there or latch the elbow. Wherever you're at, maybe play with that idea of looking up over the left shoulder. And then let your hands come down around that front foot. And go ahead and straighten your front leg. Staying here, or if standing leg lift, aka standing splits, makes sense today, up you go. If you came up into standing splits, go ahead and let that right leg come back down. And then let's bend that left knee and lower your right knee all the way down to the floor. Pausing here. Stay here, or right hand stays down, left hand comes to the thigh. Pushing down into that thigh to roll the heart open. Stay here, or pull that foot in toward the backside. Reach back with the hand. See if the hand and the foot want to be connected. If the foot and the hand join, push the foot into the hand, roll that left shoulder open. And one last time, maybe look back over your left shoulder. Slowly release the foot. Let that left hand come on down to the ground. Tuck your back toes under. Last time here. Vinyasa if you want it. Down dog if you'd prefer. Stay with your breath. And then from your down dog, let's bring your knees down to the floor. Table pose. And let's bring your elbows down below your shoulders. Let's turn the palms to face each other and clasp your hands. Elbows are going to try to stay under the shoulders, though, so try not to let those elbows go really wide. Those of you that would prefer to go palms down, great. And then we're going to tuck the toes under, take the hips toward the sky. Dolphin pose, let your head hang heavily between the arms. Those of you that are feeling a limitation from the hips and the hamstrings here, I want you to take your feet nice and wide, bend your knees like little froggy legs, and just let the hips lift up. Let the head be heavy. If this is too much for you this morning, child's pose is a fantastic option instead. Those of you who want more here, start to walk your feet in closer to the arms. Final breath wherever you're at. And then down we go into child's pose. Let the knees come to the floor, knees wide, feet together, and press it back. Feeling the fullness of your breath within you and around you. One more full breath here. Let something soften that's resisting that release. And then let's come on up away from the ground and come to seated. And as you come to seated, we're going to take the feet nice and wide for our V shape. It might be just a small little V. It might be a large V. But however you take that shape, try to stay on your sit bones. You can move the padding out of the way if you need to. And let's try to keep your toes pointed up toward the sky. Hands either in front of you to sit tall for a moment here or behind you. But if you go behind, try not to slouch back. Full breath here. Feel that breath traveling deeply down as you breathe in. And as though you could breathe out of the top of your head instead of your nose, feel that breath moving up and out as you exhale. Option to stay upright if you'd like. Option to tip and lengthen forward if you would prefer. Last full breath here as you are. If you tipped forward, let's walk those hands in a little bit. All the way, not just a little bit. Come up tall. Let's take your hands outside or underneath the knees. Help bend those knees. Let's bring the legs together. We're going to set our feet so that they're hip width apart with the knees bent. Hands are going to come behind you so that the fingertips either point towards your backside or maybe they're slightly angled out. If you know you have tight shoulders or are taking care of a shoulder thing, let's take fingers slightly angled out. If you feel like your shoulders are open and generally healthy, then they can point towards your backside. We're going to take your heart lifted up, let the shoulders move back, lengthen through the neck, but keep that sense of smiling at the jaw. Let your gaze go upward. Option to stay here, option to press into your feet and to lift the hips into reverse table. Now, it sometimes looks more like a saggy couch cushion, and that's okay. Just do your best. And instead of letting that head fall back all the way, let's keep the neck long and let the head tip back just enough that if you wanted to sing here, you could. And then slowly, slowly hips to the ground. Take a moment, recommit to that lift of the heart, the broadening of the shoulders. Make sure your hands are in a good position. We're going to come up one more time. So option to stay here. The shape, all of its work, all of its benefits are provided here with hips on the ground, doing the work of the upper back, the neck. Or option 2, once again, lift those hips, reverse table. Those of you that want more, option 3, walk your feet out to straight or legs out to straight, reverse plank. And then nice and slow, hips to the ground. If your legs are bent, go ahead and let those legs straighten. Let's take the hands out beside you, sit up super, super tall, lifting through the back of the neck, all the way through the crown of the head as though you were trying to balance something on top of your head. And then let's really root down into your feet. Make sure you have space to lay down behind you. Let's reach toward our feet. Start to release yourself down inch by inch, nice and slow. All the way onto your back. As you come down onto the ground, let's take the arms up overhead. Get super, super long. Fingertips to toe tips or fingertips to heels. Let's bring your right knee into your chest. Reach down, grab on. Just like we did standing, give it a hug. And then release your right arm out to the side and use your left hand to guide that right leg across. Into the twist, you can come as much as you'd like to onto that outer left thigh. And then maybe today you turn your gaze to look toward that right arm. And I actually recommend picking up your head, turning the head, and then putting it down. And slowly bring the head and the knee back to center. Come flat onto your back once again. Let that right leg release down. Arms up overhead. Get super elongated. And then left knee comes in. Reach down, grab on, support. When you're ready, left arm releases to the side. And right hand guides that left leg across into your twist, rolling as much as you'd like to onto the outer right thigh. Gaze can stay upward or maybe playing with lifting the head, turning to look over that left shoulder, and then putting the head down. And then nice and easy, come on to your back, bring it back to center. As you come onto your back, let's bring both knees into your chest. Reach down, grab onto shins or thighs, pull those legs in nice and close, pulling yourself into a teeny tiny little ball. And then head to the ground, hands and feet to the sky. Settling here. Feeling the heaviness of your low back on the ground, the heaviness of your shoulders and your head on the floor. And then one limb at a time, let's bring ourselves down to earth and settling our bodies into a shape that inspires and encourages rest. Settling into a space of stillness here, a space of silence that doesn't attempt to turn the mind off, but instead inspires us and encourages us to really tune in, to zoom out, and without the need to analyze or to judge, to respond, just to listen and observe. Allow yourself to take it all in. Allow the next inhale to deepen just a bit. And the next exhale to release fully and completely. If you need more time here today, then please take some more time here. But if you're ready to start to transition into your Saturday and your weekend, start to let the breath settle into a rhythm that can guide you as you head off into your day. And when it feels right to start to add movement back into your body, let that movement come back into the body, starting small. And without any rush, just taking your time, eventually bringing yourself up to a comfortable seat. And when you find that seat, hands together in front of your heart, palm to palm, staying with yourself just a little bit longer. Taking a moment here to set your breath and maybe an intention that can go with you into the day. Perhaps an intention or a reflection as you navigate your day of communication and the center of expressing ourselves in our energetic body. This idea that in order for that center of communication to be healthy and balanced, we have to be able to express ourselves, to speak our mind, but also to listen fully and completely in equal amounts. Thank you all so much for coming together this morning and practicing together. The light within me honors the light within each of you. Namaste. Thank you, community. I appreciate you guys. Take care of yourselves this weekend. We are not doing a Zoom chat today because Jamie and I are headed off to the March for Floyd gathering downtown. If anyone wants to join Jamie and I or just need some people to walk with, feel free to reach out to us via social media, or if you have our phone numbers, via our phone numbers, and we're happy to meet up. We open our first registration for our first live class tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. sharp. So there are 24 spots for class at Rogue Hop Yard a week from tomorrow. And those will open for registration tomorrow at 9 a.m. I expect them to go pretty quickly. So if you're interested, I would hop on at 9 a.m. tomorrow. Monday, we'll be opening registration at noon for our first legacy class a week later. All of the information about our Salem classes that are returning in real life are now up on our website for at least the June dates, and very clearly say when registration will be opening for those, because they're all going to be limited capacity and pre-registration required. So look for that. Tomorrow is our Thrive Wellness Weekend. If you want a 3-hour retreat at home that has some bars, some meditation, some yoga with me, that's also up on our website. And then if you have read The Authenticity Project and are planning on joining us tomorrow for the book club, we have split it into 2 times, 4 o'clock and 5:30. I'm not going to try to do it with my hands. I don't know why I'm talking with my hands right now. So look for that on our website too. Lots of good stuff. All right. Thank you guys. Most importantly, goodness gracious. Any and all donations for class today are going to Black Visions Collective. The information on how to send those donations is in the description of this class and up on our website. We are up to $900 thanks to your generosity. So thank you so much for that. And thank you so much for anything that you give today. Thank you guys so much. Hope to see you, Brooke, at the march. Shelly, Neil, Ruth, Jacob, Pam, thank you guys so much. Thank you, Lori. Thank you, Jan, Howard, Amy. Thank you guys. Thank you, Amy. Thank you, Sue. So glad to have you here with us. Jerry and Cheryl. Glad you enjoyed your flamingos, Jerry. Thank you, Catherine. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Mom. Love you. Thank you, Debbie. All right, guys, we're back at it this week for one more week of virtual classes, 6 o'clock Monday and Wednesday, and then 10 a.m. next Saturday. We are keeping these Saturday 10 a.m. classes going. So this will be here at least through the summer, every Saturday morning, if you want to keep practicing at home. So thank you, Leah. Appreciate you. All right, guys. Mwah. Bye, Danny. Have a good weekend, guys.